The Executive Secretary of the Divestiture Implementation Committee, Mr. Agambila, says he's surprised at how the entire assets of three companies merged together could be given to the supposed owner of one of the companies, Dr. Ohene Kofi, when Dr. Kofi could not provide documents to prove he was a rightful owner of that company. This was at the Judgement Deaths Commission sitting.
The Executive Secretary of the Divestiture Implementation Committee, Mr. Asakkua Agambila, said the companies Subin Company Limited and Central Logging and Sawmill Limited were merged and called Western Timbers Limited after the two were confiscated under PNDC Law 31 in 1982. Western Timbers was then amalgamated with the Takrady Veneer and Lumber Company with their assets and became the Western Veneer and Lumber Company. The assets of this new company were diversified by the Divestiture Implementation Committee and sold to an Italian company, Ivo Fiorini, in 2007. But within the same period, one Mr. Ohene Kofi was claiming ownership of one of the confiscated companies, Subin Company. Finally, in 2009, his son, Dr. Ohene Kofi, upon the demise of his father, managed to win back ownership of the company after his family had petitioned several state institutions. Mr. Asakkua Agambila was surprised at how any of these state institutions could have recommended the return of Subin Company back to the Kofi family, even though they could not provide any evidence to prove they actually owned it.
They took over assets that had been given to WVLC. Is that the case? There's a judgment that looming if the actual owners of Subin Timbers, on the basis of this confiscation, number two, there is another judgment debt complication if the investor says, you sold all this to me for 3.5 million, now you have encumbered part of it, I want a reduction, and then you are in a difficulty, the investor is in a difficulty. What is the value of that part that has been taken to be deducted from the offer price?
The legal counsel for the Ministry of Finance, Mr. David Agbalu, presented documents on some judgment debt payments made to the CAF Cocoa Company. On the issue involving the Attorney General and African Automobile Limited, Mr. Agbalu said his office could not trace all documents relating to the proposed debt of some 19 MDAs to the automobile company. He added that his ministry only released the 8 million Ghana cedis to the company based on recommendations from the AG's office. In previous sittings, most of the said MDAs denied ever owing Africa Automobile Company or having any business dealings with them.